I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I got a baby face, call it whip. All right, what's going on, y'all? I want to welcome you to another edition of Terrance Hill TV, presented to you by Double E TV. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well, and be notified whenever we upload content. Whew, today's stories been crazy. Maybe it came out yesterday, but I'm just learning about it today. About the accusations against Kanye West, and there's accusations also against The Dream as well. Serious accusations. Here to talk about it. Let's start off with Kanye's situation first. Man, it's heavy. Let's get into this. All right, Kanye West. All right, so here we have Kanye denying the accusations made against him. It's a XA case. He's saying that they're, baseless, and this is against his ex-assistant that is suing him. And pretty much, the story is talking about let me zoom in to this for you guys. All right, so the story here is talking about Kanye West. It's talking about Ye, formerly Kanye West, whose Donda Academy was sued in April for workplace abuses, is facing a slew of disturbing new allegations. This time, the lawsuit comes from a woman claiming she was his personal assistant. Laura Pisciotta, an Instagram OnlyFans model, said she worked for the famous rap star who was 46, from 2021 of July to October 2022. She alleges she was subjected to multiple forms of SA harassment and fleeced out of a promised $4 million salary from her work on various Yeezy brands, according to legal documents reviewed by the Times. All right, the lawsuit filed Monday in a LA Superior Court accuses his businesses of wrongful termination, gender discrimination, fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional and physical stress, among other misconduct. A legal representative for West told the Times in a statement that the rapper intends to file a counterclaim against her over baseless allegations. The rep also accused her of coercion, blackmail, and extortion. Her attorney did not respond immediately to the Times' request for comment. Whew, boy. The complaint describes as a music industry veteran with more than 15 years of experience in management, AR, and marketing before accepting a $1 million annual salary to be Ye's full-time personal assistant in July 2021. She worked with the rapper on his Yeezy clothing line and the 2021 album Donda. And this, if you read this stuff, she's accusing him of, I don't want to read slow because I'm just, going over the story myself, but she's basically accusing him of pleasuring himself. Videos and sex acts involve, Instagram models and all kinds of stuff. Man, this is real heavy. And oh yeah, and then this comment here talking about, oh, this is a 25-page complaint. And then you see it's talking about him describing his male part as racist and needs to be beaten till it can't be racist no more. So pretty much she's, accusing him of all kinds of stuff, sending videos and just inappropriate behavior that he's being accused of. Now, with all these things going on against Diddy and the accusations out against him, now we have another accusation out against someone else. All right, let's kind of get into this one about the Don't know who the Dream is, because he's a good artist, has some hits, and he kind of transitioned more into the writing, producing, and he's written for everybody. Beyonce, Rihanna, a lot of hit records that you hear. It's definitely his pen. Justin Timberlake. He's written a lot of hooks for Jay-Z and um, you name it. The Dream is definitely one of the best writers in the game. So, all right, let's get into this one. Says record producer and singer songwriter The Dream is accused of trafficking, the R word, and battery in a lawsuit that was filed on Tuesday. I'm being sensitive with these words because these algorithms are very sensitive. According to the complaint obtained by CNN, says he used his age and his influence in the music industry to manipulate the plaintiff, a singer songwriter from the Netherlands in the U.S., on a O1B, what is this? Extraordinary ability visa. Yeah, so you have these, okay, O1B extraordinary ability visa. So those of you may not know, when people come here from other countries, they get visas. Some people obtain them through marriage, work, and other ways that people obtain these particular visas. So it's talking about a singer from the Netherlands. Scroll down. On one occasion, according to the lawsuit, alleges that he did what to her in a van the same evening that he forced her to engage in acts in the public movie theater. She has asked for a jury trial and is seeking unspecified damages. CNN reached out to his representatives. They have not heard back. In a statement, his representative sent to the New York Times denied the allegations, said these claims are untrue and defamatory. What else he says? I oppose all forms of harassment and have always strived to help people realize their career goals. As someone committed to making a positive impact on my fellow artists and the world at large, I'm deeply offended and saddened by these accusations. So we have another artist being accused of something. Again, I'm not casting any aspersions. I was not there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the Dream or Kanye West did, but I want to deal with a bigger thing, beyond just the accusations. Yes, there is a cultural in Hollywood, in entertainment business, just in work in general. Hell, sometimes even people getting into the marching band or people getting into certain organizations, people sometimes are asked to engage in, sexual acts for advancement and things along those lines. So it's not only exclusive to just Hollywood, but if you want to talk about Hollywood, the director's sofa, we've seen over the years a lot of executives and a lot of, CEOs, people who have labels and things of that nature kind of play the role of mentor. And then that leads to, sexual relationships. And then in a lot of cases, the advancements are not wanted. But sometimes, or even if the person decides to engage, you always have the right to say no or to ask the person to stop. And then if that doesn't happen, yes, that's what it is. Not to mention that a lot of some of these people who are the artists or some of these people who are the executives and stuff like that may be on substances and things of that nature. So yes, it's totally wrong. If that is what is transpiring, we know that's transpiring, so we know that is wrong. So I think we all can agree. But the deeper thing is that cultural needs to be busted up. That these artists or the executives or people that are signing talent are doing these things. Okay. Now, on the flip side, yes, there are situations where, you know, men are falsely accused and people wanting a bag and people putting out lies and things of that nature. So I think what people have to do is to create a more professional environment. So I think all communication between an artist or the person who's the signee, the person who's signing the signee, any communication needs to be done through a email. So eliminate these text messages. If you need to communicate with that person, it needs to be done through a email. And then if that person needs to come back to the studio or something needs to, they need to touch up on some work or something that needs to be done, then that needs to be communicated to that artist's management, and then they can translate that to them. Because I assure you, a lot of times on the movie set and things of that nature, let's just say Michael Bay wants Will and Martin to come back to the set to do something. 9 times out of 10, Michael Bay is not picking up the phone to ask them to do X, Y, and Z. He has assistants for that, and then he'll reach out to Will's assistant or Martin's assistant or their management or reps, and that's how those things normally transpire. So I think people who are in these positions need to cut out a lot of this fraternization, hanging out outside of the studio and things of that nature. And then from the director side, let's just take it to the movie industry side. A lot of times, oh, I think you have a lot of talent or whatever. And, oh, let's go back to my suite and work on the lines. That's the problem right there. Like that shouldn't be transpiring. And then, especially when we're talking about a underage talent, someone who may be 14 or younger than that or whatever, that's on a movie set or in the recording industry. I think all studio sessions or photo sessions or anything involving that type of talent, either the parent or legal guardian needs to be present always, no exceptions whatsoever. And I think if the artists and the parents can kind of operate within that vein, I think that can eliminate some of these type of situations. Obviously, if there's predatory behavior that's going on, then it needs to be busted up. But I think for the artists who feel they're being wrongly accused, or the executives, who are artists, that's what I'm talking about. The artists who are executives, the signing talent and things of that nature, they got to be more responsible. Period. And you got to be careful, coming out here, signing people, asking people to be your representatives, asking people to be your security and things of that nature. Because a lot of times people hire a lot of yes men when people are under the influence of drugs and alcohol and things of that nature. A lot of times people have a lot of yes people around them. But what's starting to happen now, and you see it and you read a lot of these lawsuits, not only are the artist or the person being accused is being accused, a lot of times their businesses, their personal assistants, their security, all these people are being sued in these lawsuits. So I think if you work for somebody, then you have a greater responsibility to speak up and say something, even at the expense of being fired, because you could always sue because you were wrongfully terminated. But you shouldn't get caught up in the allure of what's going on, because yes, you will be sued as well. And I assure you, 9 times out of 10, the artist that you work for is probably not going to pay your legal fees, or if you end up going to prison, it's going to be on you. So you got to speak up and say something when you work for people in high regard as well, that you don't want to be complicit as well. Now they have something that's going on, that's their business. Fine, that's their business, and probably bound by like an NDA. But if something illegal is going on and something that is going to get you in trouble or have your clearances and insurance things revoked because you were complicit and just went along with whatever because you was getting a nice paycheck, it's not worth it in the end. So I think doing the right thing is always the best situation when you work for somebody in high regard, and just to have some integrity and morals and not only get caught up in just the paycheck, but you got to do the right thing at all times. But it's sad to read these stories. Yeah, I mean, but I do believe that there are a lot of people in these industries that need to be exposed. Not just the so-called music executives on the, like artist level music executives, but even the higher ups, people who run these big corporations and people who sit on these, boardrooms and stockholders and things of that nature. We know it's a big, big problem beyond that. But here's the thing though, people always assume that when we see your quote unquote your Jay-Z's, your Diddy's, your Birdman, your Suge Knights, your Master P's, and these type of people, yeah, they have influence, they get in a nice bag, and sure. But in some regards as well, it's not always what people think either. These people also have stockholders and bosses and people who are above them as well. And so it's a big dynamic. Even take like a movie director or something like that. They got to answer to the studios, and it's a deep rabbit hole. These types of circumstances, but may the truth come out. So I don't know who's telling the truth. Between the women, or in this case Kanye, or the Dream. I hope uh from an integral standpoint, I hope those guys are not involved in anything like that. And then lastly, especially on the even looking at some of the stuff that Diddy's been accused of, and some of these things that we've seen from people, any communication, especially through text or video, all that stuff can be traced and documented, because normally you have these type of cases, you got you know Fed, CIA, FBI, and people like that investigating these type of cases. I give you guys one more story before we get out of here. Adam Pac-Man Jones, when he was signed to the Dallas Cowboys, he was talking about how Cowboy security was, kind of following him around and things of that nature. Look, I assure you, anybody that goes into the NBA, NFL, music industry, modeling, movie industry, whatever industry it is, these people know everything about you before they sign you. They know what vices you got. They know if you are straight, gay, anything, what scandals you got, what vices you got. They know all these things. So they're not thrown for a loop. So they know what they're signing. And yes, a lot of times they are, being watched. And that's just how it is. When these cases happen and a football player is accused of something, or a basketball player is accused of something, all these people investigating that is former FBI, CIA, and that's what it is. So you just have to be, smart. And I think there are enough willing participants for any, person, not just famous, but people who, want to go out there and be with somebody. That's People want relationships. So if it is consensual, then do what you do. Whether it's a man with a man, or man with a woman, or whatever. Some of these people got alternative lifestyles. That's their business. But the force and the control thing is, that's where all this stuff gets crazy. And then people have to look at, we're talking beyond sometimes just the SA accusations. You're talking about when somebody wants to leave and they're not allowed to leave. Now we're looking at kidnapping, false imprisonment. And then if, let's just say hypothetically, if people are going across state lines with drugs and illegal guns and prostitutes and things of that nature, now we're talking about trafficking. And now we're talking about the Mann Act. So people just got to move. You got to move with integrity, and you can't be involved in this type of nonsense, because eventually it will be exposed. And that's just how it is. But I brought that Adam Pac-Man Jones story up just to let people know, yeah, like they know what you are involved in. Now they will protect you when you are beneficial to their bottom line. If you're making funds for them. So a lot of times people may get involved in something that they shouldn't, and they'll make it go away, or they will kind of clean it up because you are a beneficial for their bottom line, which is making money. But the minute you become not valuable anymore, or the minute you get out of line and not controllable, and you're not doing what these boards and these people are telling you to do, that's when you start to see a lot of these kingdoms crumble. And so we're gonna, pay attention to this case and kind of see how it plays out. But may the truth come out. I'm not taking anybody's side. I don't have any information about this, but I am glad to see both guys, deny the allegations, and I hope they can, have their day in court. May it come out that way, and vice versa. The women feel like they were truly violated, and they got their legal reps, and we'll see how this kind of whole thing plays out. Those of you who want to link up with me on other sites, you can find me on Instagram at Terrance Hill the Great. You can find me on Facebook at Terrance Hill. I'm on Snapchat at T Hill the Great. X, formerly known as Twitter, I am in the hills. TikTok, Elevate with Terrance. My two websites are doubleetv.com, that's with two E's, and terrancehill.com as well. And those of you who want to donate to the Cash App, it is Terrance Hill Music. Again, Terrance Hill Music. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to this particular episode of Terrance Hill TV, presented to you by Double ETV. Again, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and notification bell as well. And leave your thoughts in the comment section. I do read the comments, and I'll be interested to hear your opinion about this particular accusations against Kanye and The Dream. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Anybody that wants to donate to our efforts, the Cash App is Terrance Hill Music. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I will see you next time. Take care. I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I got a baby face, call it